Good morning and welcome. My name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator and I'm based here in the UK. And I come on twice a week normally to do some crafting with you. So it's lovely to welcome you in to have a bit of crafty fun this morning. Let me just share a little bit more about myself. Let us bring this up. So this is my website, so Love-a-Duckie.co.uk, and that is where you will find all of the things pertaining to my little business. So whether that's blog posts and inspiration or classes or links to shops or whatever it is you're looking for, you can find it over on my website at lovaduckie.co.uk. And if you're looking for me anywhere else on social media, Pinterest, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, then look out for Love-a-Duckie and hopefully that is where you will find me. And if you are joining us, whether you're joining live today or whether you are on catch up, do pop on and say hello, do leave comments, ask questions, anything. It's lovely to have you take part in any of our videos. It is lovely to hear from you. So do share, comment, like, ask questions and all of those things, and it's lovely to have you. If you are joining from somewhere like Facebook, you should probably see that you've got a notification asking you to add your name into StreamYard. All that does, it allows me to see your name come up on my comments just here. Otherwise it will just come up as Facebook user and I won't know who you are. But if you add your name into that StreamYard, if you allow StreamYard to have your name, then your name comes up and I know who you are, which is always exciting. But that's if you're on Facebook. On YouTube that doesn't count the same. But yes, so lovely to have you here with us. Let me bring in my downward facing camera and we'll actually, no, let me share a few things that I've got coming up. Let's share a bit of news, upcoming news. So we've got some classes that are coming up. So this week coming on Friday evening, got a completely crackers bit games night. I have just about got time to get you a kit out if you would still like to join us for that. That is, say, Friday night, happening over Zoom, so you don't have to be close to me, you just need to be in the UK so I can get you a kit out first class today. And it's £10 to come and join us. We do 3 little craft activities and play some games as well. Morning, Lisa. And there are some lovely Stampin' Up prizes that you could win if you come and join us for that. So that's this Friday. The other classes that are showing up there on your screen, one is a Make One, Take One project class that's happening at the beginning of April, using either the Charming Sentiments bundle, which is that fabulous sentiment stamp set that has dies that cut them out sort of like a shadow effect. So it doesn't just cut them out as labels, it actually cuts around the dies. So that's a nice fun set. Or the other one that we're going to be doing is Nature's Harvest. So there's those 2 kits coming up at the beginning of April. Also in April, the Stamper Stack for April is going to be using the Silly Goose stamp set. So a bit of fun, something a little bit different. Other classes coming up. These classes are coming up sort of in the next week or 2. So Stamper Stack is happening tomorrow for the Fancy Flora Suite. So if you are here locally, I am cutting those classes this afternoon. So if you're here somewhere local and you'd like to come and join us for the in-person event, then do shout. Likewise, if you'd like it in the post, I can still cut you a class this afternoon while I'm doing the others and get that out in the post to you. That's not a problem, but shout quickly if you would still like to join us for that one tomorrow. The technique class with cards that move, looking at different ways of bringing movement into our cards, that is happening on the 31st of March on Friday morning. So yeah, you can still come and join us for that. And Saturday Stampers for the beginning of March, April the 1st, is actually going to be creating some masculine cards. So if you fancy doing that, do come and join us. And the other things just to flag up is the all-day craft retreat that is happening on the 3rd of June. do come and join us for that. In person in Wadnow Village Hall here in Northamptonshire. Be lovely to see you for that all-day event, all fully catered. A really lovely day. Be lovely to have you. But if you can't join us in person and would still like all the inspiration and the goodie bag and all those sorts of things, you can join us for a retreat in a box, and I will send that out to you in the post. So lots of goodies, lots of things coming up. But now let's come down to my downward facing camera and have a look at what's on my desk in front of me. And what I have got in front of me is the Enjoy the Journey suite. So you can see here lots of projects in really bright colours. When I saw this paper for the first time, it really struck me as being something really quite different from things that we'd had before, and really lovely, great for masculine cards, but that doesn't mean it doesn't include lots of really bright colours. But it also has things like these flowers and things that enable you to create some really lovely, more feminine cards as well. So you can see you've got a stamp and die bundle, we've got a set of twine, got some really fun embellishments, and we've got a 12 by 12 paper pack. And I quite like this sample at the back here. And if you can see that, they've used one of the stamps to create this little circular pattern on this paper cardstock. I think it's paper actually, DSP. And then they've cut it into these funky patterns on the back there. So they've taken a strip and just sort of cut it at different angles and things to make this fun background, which is really rather nice. Quite a fun card, but let's move that to one side for a minute. So here we have the stamp set. It's a photopolymer stamp set. So you've got these lovely floral images down here, sort of the flowers that you'd find in the mountains. You've got some grasses. You've got some little like funky like dandelions going on here. You've got this nice tree image. You've got all these stars. You've got this circle here that could be a moon, could be a star, could be those funky patterns that we've just seen on that sample, and some nice greetings. Mountains of thanks. You belong among the stars. This moment is the start of something great. I'm so inspired by your courage. Wishing you joy in this next adventure. We're in this together. So some nice sentiments in there. The dies have got dies that will cut out some of the pieces in your die set. So you've got a die to cut out those flowers, you've got a die to cut out your trees, but you've also got a whole host of other dies that will allow you to create some other fun stuff. So you've got two dies here that will create you a tent. You've got these could be clouds, that could be the setting sun behind a cloud, or it could just be a cloud. There's another one just there. There's another little one just here. You've got this sort of jogger, fell runner, whatever he is. Somebody looks like they're going camping with their backpack and their lantern. You've got the mountain biker there. You've got a little walking cane. You've got the moon, foliage, and then you've got this die that's going to cut you some landscapes. So some real fun dies there to have a play with and create something a really little bit different. So let's have a little look what we are going to do. What I probably won't do today, but which one of the things that did pop into my mind, is to use these tents and to use a whole load of really nice bright papers, and you could make a great festival card if you've got somebody who likes going to festivals, Glastonbury or whatever the festival is that they like going to. You could do a great festival card with lots of bright colours and all of those tents. That would be quite fun. I thought there was more dies on here when I started. There was lots more dies because they're still over here. Got the trees and the flowers. Let's move that to one side for a moment. The other thing that you've got in here is you've got these great enamel sticker icons, and you get, I think it's 64 of these. You've got bonfires, compasses, you've got the arrows, you've got the trees, and obviously you could colour these with your stamping blends as well if you want to. You want to add some colour to them, so they're really fun. Great for doing scrapbook pages and things as well as cards. You've got this set of 3 twines. So we've got a coastal cabana one here. So I'm just trying to find the end. Can we find the end? Where are you? That wasn't the end. But it's quite a thick twine. So it's got quite a cottony feel to it. It's really rather lovely. There's the end of that one. So you've got garden green, coastal cabana, and then this one is pumpkin pie. And then to go with that, we've got these 12 by 12 papers. Now, a lot of these have got like scenes on one side. So you've got like a coastal cabana garden green down here. And then you've got highland heathery and starry sky at the bottom there. So you've got 2 lots of scenes there. And then on the back, you've got like an Aztec-y pattern on the back there. And even in the background here, there's like splatters in the background. Really nice. This one is just like lots of trees all built up. And then on the other side of that, you've got this sort of dashed pattern. Rather nice. This one's got clouds and things down here, and these sort of whirls up there that could be sea, could be all sorts of things. On the back there, you've got this really bright mango melody with the triangles on. Here we've got another mountain ranges. This time we've got a moon in there, and we've got melon mambo down here, garden green down here, and this ombre effect going up the centre. Really fun, and a bright melon mambo carved there. So you can see how you've got the really quite masculine looking ones, but it also adds that real pop of colour, which of course no reason why you can't add a pop of colour on cards for the guys. So we've got highland heather again, and starry sky, garden green coming up into coastal cabana, and this really nice night sky sort of effect just here with this starry sky, and then really wow, pumpkin pie down to melon mambo, and sort of every shade in between, and a really bright zigzaggy pattern there. So some really great papers, some really great generic backgrounds, great pops of colour as well. But I'm going to use one of these to create a bit of a scene. Not in terms of I'm going to start ranting and raving and shouting, but create a bit of a scene with this mountain ranges. So I'm going to concentrate on the greeny one. I'm going to chop off the purple one from the top. Isn't that beautiful with that sort of going up into that slight greeny blue at the top there? It's really pretty. But we're just going to stick with the green. Now, I need this to be 9.5 centimetres wide. So there we have beautiful mountain scene. You wouldn't need to do very much more to that at all, would you? You've just got, there you go, one bam, card made nearly. But I'm going to add some layers to it. So I've got some coastal cabana here. Let's cut that to 10 by 14.4. We'll stick that behind there. And then I've got a bit of garden green. Might come this way actually. Might cut that at 10.5. And score it at 14.9. I can hear all the birds singing today. That's rather lovely. That makes it feel quite spring-like. It is officially the first day of spring today, so quite nice to have that bird song in the background. There we have garden green card base that sort of picks up the garden green of the trees, and then the coastal cabana that was going to pick up the colours of the sky and the mountains in there. I'm going to grab somewhere. I've got a bag of oddments of garden green. So what I want to do is build up a bit of a scene. Let me just my mini stamp and cut and emboss and find my plates. So what I want, get a bit of a strip of garden green. And I'm going to take that die just here, if I can pick it up. It's going to give me sort of a bit of terrain, for want of a better. Not sure how deep I want it, so better to go deeper and be able to trim it off than it coming down like that. So it's sort of like a bit of a rocky outcrop. And we'll run that through. Any stamping, cut and emboss. Little scissors, my little paper snips. And we'll decide whereabouts we want that to come in a minute. I'm going to take my stamp set and this little set of trees. And some garden green ink. So I'm keeping this fairly adding in a lot more colour than we've already got. Is that going to fit on there? Yes, I think it will. So let's ink this up. I think I'm going to lay that down that side. Now this is the first time, obviously, this stamp has been inked up. On there. Some scrap paper. There we go. Sometimes you do need to just stamp, particularly the polymer ones. They may have a little bit something left on them as they've been released from the moulds. It's worth giving them a couple of stamps, and I'm actually going to stamp that onto some garden green card. Do that a couple of times. That went a bit funny. I'm not going to worry too much because I am going to overlap those a little bit. And I want to cut those out as well with our coordinating die. Add my low tack tape to my jumper just to make it even lower tack. bring in our machine. Just drop back that centre plate a little bit just to make this E shape. It just makes it easier to feed it through. Drop that, take that one set of trees out. Die cut a second set of trees. Even with taking the tacky off, it's still not as low tack as I'd like it to be. Never mind, it wasn't anywhere that was going to make an issue. And there's a couple of sets of trees. I want my little camping man. I'm going to cut him out in green as well. I'm going to run a little walking stick through at the same time. I don't know whether I want that or not. We will see. There they are. A little man with his lantern. And his walking stick. Oh, sirens are going off. Something is afoot. I hope if it's an accident, all is well. And just take some garden green. We actually don't live very far from the fire station and the ambulance station, so we often have sirens going by. Don't tend to take too much notice unless it happens to be more than one. I'm just using my blending brush and adding a bit of ink, a bit of shading if you like, to the top of our hillock. Right. Just helps that pop out against that background a little bit. Let's find some glue. Not going to worry about doing too much glue on the bottom because I think that's going to be trimmed off. So I'm now going to have a bit of a play with that. Work out where I want that to go, and then take some scissors and trim off the excess. Now, I've done that, but I don't want to do that. I do want to trim off the excess. That's absolutely fine. But actually what I want to do with that is raise it up on some dimensionals. So let's take it back off. And let's raise it up. I need a little bit of the edge just to bring down here. So we won't be able to see where we've lifted it off because we're putting it straight back over the top. I just wanted it to have some height behind there. want some of these trees to come in down here. Again, we'll build those up. So this back one, I'm going to stick on flat. Ooh, come here. And then this one, I'm going to add some dimensionals too. A couple of bits there. Add those in down there, and then again we'll trim off. We've got our trees coming down the back here. We've got still got our raised hero piece. Come in, and I'll also add the blending brush to him. And have him standing with some mini dimensionals for him. Might not be him. Then we're going to need another little thin slither. Thin slither for my disappearing. Where have you gone? You were standing there. Well, my little man has done a runner. There he is on the floor. Like, where on earth has he gone? Now, in the excitement of losing, oh, there it is. Losing my man, I've lost my dimensional. I'll have him standing there. In fact, I'm going to need to put a second dimensional under there, just to raise him so he's flat. Let's take his little stick. Put a little bit of Tombow there. A little spot at the top there. Have that so it sticks under his arm and coming down there. Well, wishing you joy in this next adventure. I'm going to take a block, pop that on. And let's come in with some Versamark and some white embossing. Now, if this all goes horribly wrong, then we will create a banner for it. But as a first instance, we're going to attempt to stamp this direct onto our card base. And we're going to look for my bit of scrap card paper. Here it is. I start off such a clear desk, and within minutes it's all gone mad. Let me just find that down. Obviously, I can just about, where it catches the light, see where it is, but it's not very clear. Let's bring in some embossing powder. Looking good. I think that's a splatter on the paper rather than an extra blob of embossing powder. I'm going to turn my heat tool on. There we go. A little bit of tree hanging over there. It's neither use nor ornament, so let's take that off. Let's stick that to our Coastal Cabana mat. Need to give that a good press down, because where we've used the heat tool, it does curl it up slightly. Trying to find the end of this Coastal Cabana one. It's hiding from us. Really is not anywhere visible. Nope, still haven't found it. Let's wrap that round there a couple of times. I'm going to trim this off. Obviously, you would normally take the time and find the end of your twine. Just don't untwine it from the middle like I just have. Bring that down here. just knot it. So it's quite a nice thick twine, this one. Stick that to our card base. Down on the bottom there, where it's gone over that twine, it is a little bit bulky. And what I might well do is come in with these stamps. And we have this little starry one just here. That block's much too big for that. Let's come in with this block. You always want to try, where possible, to match your blocks up to the size of your stamp. Just going to add in a few little stars. See how that looks when we put the powder on. Oh, made a mess there, Helen. There we go. We'll take the twine out. In our brush, just brush it over the top where that's picked up from that adventure. And let's heat that. And you can see them go from quite a dull powder to sort of shimmery white as they heat. There we go. So that will want a insert. I think that bit of card is going to be about perfect. Let's cut that down. Oh, that's right. And I think I'll bring my trees back in. And the garden green ink. Ah, that's why I can't see it. Put it in back to front so that the label's not showing. We'll just have some trees down in this bottom corner. And that inside. There we go. I was just wondering whether I wanted a thing on, but I don't think I do on this one. a nice sort of layered scenic card for somebody who's whatever sort of new adventure, new job, whether they're literally going off mountain climbing, whatever their new adventure is. Quite a fun card, and it's just using that background paper, that scenic paper, as the sort of starting point and adding to it. So they really are beautiful, those papers. Let's go bright and bold. Clear the decks a little bit. Pop away the white embossing folder and powder. Garden green ink. Fold up my mini cut and emboss for a moment. I'm sure we'll probably want them together in a second. Garden green. Cardstock. Right. Let's have a look at some of the bright, bold colours and have a little look at doing something with some of those. I quite like this paper. Now then, where did it go? This paper here that has these stars on, and this sort of white, almost cloudy background is rather lovely, but obviously we only have 2 sheets of it. So I thought we'd have a go at creating a little bit of something like, let me cut a piece of Starry Sky cardstock. Could have gone Night of Navy, but I'm going to go Starry Sky. Seems appropriate to create a starry sky. And I'm going to take my starry stamp and some white craft ink. Let's have a little look. And we will just stamp stars all over. There, so we've got stars all over our background now. I'm going to take a clean blending brush. Let's just pick up a little bit of that white ink. Now these will smudge a little bit because it takes a lot longer for these to dry, so you'd perhaps be better leaving it to one side to dry and then coming in and just adding a few wispy bits. So you've just got that sort of night sky background. I'm going to cut myself a piece of 10 by 14.4 black card to sit that on. Now I was going to go with the bright colours, but I might not. I might go more silhouette, because these dies do lend themselves really nicely to silhouette. So I might take our sort of landscape die again, and I'm going to take the mountain biker. Just going to quickly run that through. I'm going to use my bigger stamping set and emboss, just to save me trimming down the cardstock actually. This is quite a nice idea for if you've got teenagers that you're creating cards for. Let's pop those bits out just there. Up you come. Take my blending brush that has white ink on. I'm just going to add a bit of white ink there. I think we need to have him mid-air, don't we? Needs to be having taken off. This bit of black card just here. Always use your embossing buddy if you are embossing on black card. I'm going to take my star stamp off, and I'm going to pick up the "You Belong Amongst the Stars." Make sure that's well inked. And we will stamp that onto our black card. And again, bring in our white embossing powder. Take off those little flecks round and about. Let's heat that up. And give that a heat. Now I'm just going to take a little circular stamp. I just dropped my scissors. When I'm looking for those in a minute, do remind me. They're on the floor. Let's timpost this as well. Heat that up. I'm going to tuck it behind my sentiment, so I'm not worried that it's not brilliant on the bottom there. Just to pick up the scissors. I could probably have a look amongst my circle punch and dies and things and see if there's one that would have cut that out, but by the time I've done that, I'll have run around it with my scissors anyway. And I think we might go with a Starry Sky card base as well. Let's trim that down. It is half of a piece of cardstock scored in half. And let's do some gluing and trimming. Right, off you come, Moon. And to take and we'll add that to the card base. And I just wiggle that down a little bit. No, it's not going to wiggle a little bit. Let me just trim where I can see that blue underneath. Better. We'll stick that to our card front. So obviously we could have been die cutting these bikes out of lots of bright colours, perhaps popping it on one of those backs of those bright background papers. But I do like the sort of silhouette effect that you can get with all of these dies, whether it's the sort of hiking man or running man. Could have had a running man on here. I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of my sentiment. And we'll take our little moon, tuck him under there. Would we like one of these? On the bottom here, or perhaps on the bottom there, so that it's the opposite corner to where we've got our sentiment. Just going to cut. Is that going to come off? Yes, a thin sliver of Starry Sky cardstock. Come across that bottom just there. And add that over the top and give it a good press down. And trim that off. That just helps to give that little sticker, make it feel as if it belongs. Obviously that also will need an insert because it's a dark coloured cardstock, so unless you're writing with a white pen, you're not going to be seen on there. And what I might do of this one, let's take that off of there. To clean up this stamp. With my chamois, grab my starry sky ink, put your teeth in, and we'll have some Starry Sky stamp and stars coming round there before we stick that. Oh, on the inside. Yours hopefully won't have a finger blob on it. I'll sort that out in a minute. But you'll just have those nice blue. Let's ignore the finger blob. Nice blue starry skies on the inside. So there's a couple of cards. This one using one of those background papers. This one inspired by one of those background papers. There's a couple of cards that are great for, say, really good for teenagers, young men in your life. They're sometimes quite difficult to find cards for. That's quite a good image. Yeah, just to let them know that they're superstars, but also for anybody that's about to start a new adventure. And as I say, you can, no reason why you've got to stick to these darker colours. We could have done that in Melon Mambo and Mango Melody and all of those beautiful bright colours as well. So a lovely set. and lots of fun to be had, and not even started with the tents. I can see having great fun with those. So yeah, if you've got a camper in your life or somebody that does scouting, as I have in mine, then I'm sure that there'll be lots of uses for that great tent stamp. It's a really not a tent die. It's a really nice detailed die. So good fun. Um, Thank you for joining me on this Monday morning, where we sort of started off with spots of rain, went into singing birds, and let's wait and see what the rest of the morning will bring us. Have a great week. I will be back with you on Friday. In the meantime, enjoy your crafting, and I will be back with you very, very soon.